watching The Gist. Today I'd like to get stuck into a subject pretty close to my heart and discuss some seriously awesome female protagonists in video games. Now unfortunately it's still a fairly slim selection given how long gaming's been around, but they say quality beats quantity, and we certainly do have our fair share of that. For the longest time, Lara Croft was essentially a male fantasy with a nice behind that gamers could enjoy in third-person perspective. Fortunately, over the years, she really has established herself as more than just a tiny waist that would not realistically be able to support her enormous boobs. Lara Croft began to come into her own before Square Enix's reboot of the series last year, but the latest episode took it upon itself to write out Lara's origin story. The struggles of a young, intelligent archaeologist who finds herself in extraordinary circumstances and has to adopt the skills to overcome them is intriguing and easy to sympathize with. Indisputably, Lara has traditionally been a sex symbol, and the controversy over whether she's a good role model has spanned the gamut of opinions. But she was still one of the first women in video games who got to be tough. Lara may have paved the way for tough women in video games, but I think there's definitely one that takes the cake: the female version of Commander Shepard. If anybody watching played as male Shep exclusively, I'd implore you to create a femme Shep and bring voice actor Jennifer Hale into your next Mass Effect playthrough. I personally found that dude Shep acted incredibly monotonous and dry at times, whereas Hale really nails being tough, assertive, and completely charming at the same time. Whether you're playing as fair and just or being a jerk, femme Shep never feels unworthy of being the baddest, toughest person in the galaxy. It makes sense that the story revolves around you because even though you're surrounded by strong, well-rounded companions, female Shepard always shines with her spot-on characterization and line delivery.
No one likes sarcasm, Commander. I do. I hate you. I hate you, ma'am.
On my list as the next character I seriously need to get around to cosplaying as, and one of my favorite female protagonists of all time, is Beyond Good and Evil's Jade. Apart from being one of the few people in the world who can seriously pull off green, Jade is a photojournalist who either takes pictures of little creatures for money or takes pictures of enormous governmental conspiracies to sway the local Hylians out from believing their lies. And if that isn't enough to get you on side, she takes care of orphans in her spare time. The dating profile basically writes itself. Like every good protagonist, Jade has some pretty complicated internal shit going on, which I won't spoil for you, but she's very good with the staff and sneaky when she needs to be. She's essentially a bundle of awesome all wrapped up with a green bandana, and maybe one day they'll finally give her and all of us what we're due by announcing Beyond Good and Evil 2. Second to last on my list, and the last character I did actually cosplay as, is the mad and lovely Alice from MCGEES games of the same namesake. In a word, Alice is complicated. In a lot of words, her family died in a fire, she's clinically insane, and spends the vast majority of her life in a parallel universe, which used to be the wonderland you see in typical Alice appropriations, but is now sort of mangled and full of tar demons and giant bloodthirsty dolls. Alice is more than a reaction to her circumstances though. She's dark and clever, and the things she says are wonderfully stubborn and full of ego, despite the fact that she's batshit crazy. Then there's the fact that all her weapons are household items gone bad, like a hobby horse which deals massive blows, or a pepper grinder machine gun. Much like Femme Shep and Jade, Alice is exactly the kind of protagonist you want on your side when the big bad comes knocking. With her arsenal and attitude, it's hard not to feel remarkably safe no matter how dire the enemies, or remarkably terrified depending on which side you happen to be on. Last up is a lady who already made an appearance on an earlier Gist episode alongside her faithful sidekick, April Ryan. She may not have strength on her side, but she has so much else. The nice thing about April Ryan is that she's basically a normal girl, also the chosen one, but that's later. April is an art student living in Venice in the not too distant future when parallel worlds start colliding and mysterious people start calling on her to set things right. In the adventure of the longest journey, things are rarely smooth, and she's not always on board with her duty to be the savior of worlds. Interestingly, it's her willingness to question her circumstances but continue on for the sake of others which makes her so interesting. And obviously so completely badass, since the vast majority of the women on my list have done their fair share of world saving. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below who your favourite female game protagonist might be, and if you like, come join me again next week.